Okay, so hello, beautiful creatures of the internet. I once again am Mango Jones. We're going to be looking at the comprehensive timeline of Kanye. Is it ever going to go live? I'm looking at my phone. I don't know why it's not live. It says it's still waiting. Huh. Weird. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so like always, in the description are all of the links for all of the resources, LGBTQIA plus resources, domestic violence, SA resources. There are also the charity links down in the description for Ukraine because it is wintertime. They do still need help. Humanitarian aid does not end when there is still a war going on. Okay, so last night we made it up until a certain point in the timeline for Kanye. And we're just going to have to keep trucking along because we still have October 16th through the 3rd of this month. And there's a lot that happened all at once. It was just this giant, ridiculous snowball effect. So, just a brief recap of what has happened up until where we're at in the timeline. Okay, so you've got Kanye West putting out that weird Hello Donda song that his school was singing, because that wasn't cult-like at all. And then you've got him doing the White Lives Matter shirts, him talking about Donda Steries, where all of his people will live. You've got Adidas putting his entire relationship with them under review. You've got Tucker Carlson interviewing him getting banned from Twitter for being an anti-Semite. That's always fun. You've got Vice releasing all of the deleted clips. The Holocaust Museum inviting him to come take a tour. Candace Owens just backing him up for some reason. And it's been what? Here, we're at October 16th. Okay? And October 16th starts out with this tweet where Kanye West's team goes down to Skid Row and is giving out the White Lives Matter shirts.
Love Project. Courtesy of Kanye West.
Do you want me to bring some over here?
Huh? Yeah, bring some. Hang it up. Hang up the front.
All right.
Thank you.
Come on with it.
Thank you.
So yeah, he gives out the White Lives Matter shirts down at Skid Row, which is the exact opposite of where you would want to give those shirts. They're better off in a dumpster fire. So that happened. And that same day, Drink Champs releases a 3-hour-long interview with Kanye West. Now, we're not going to watch the whole 3 hours, but I did pull some significant clips that we are going to watch together. So let's get started with that. Also, let me know if the audio works, because last night I was having issues with this. Okay? Okay.
Our sponsors, well, I guess I'm next then. What? Because it's no backing down at this point. I talked to Cube because Cube been labeled an anti-Semite. First of all, we are Semite. We Jew. So I can't be anti-Semite. What? First of all, I need my 4 stadiums back. The 78 media outlets that call me abuser when I was trying to get that heroin addict away from my kids that was tattooing my kids' names on them, Skeet, Pete Davidson. They popping up. You know what I'm saying? It's like they Trevor Noah, not even from America. He just looked black. Right? Gonna say, yo, Kim, it's gonna get dangerous. So they putting all that, he crazy. He's so OJ. Right. Nori just want the family back together. Right. I just want the family back together. Right. Kim is a Christian. On TMZ, I just saw yesterday, they said Pete Davidson and Kim have sex by the fireplace to honor their grandmother. It's Jewish Zionists that's about that life, that's telling this Christian woman that has 4 black children to put that out as a message in the media. So when I drive by and I see the Hulu ads and I say the JP Chase Morgan ads, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, the devil is a defeated foe. You can't poison me. And by the way, y'all done already fucked with me so much. Y'all already black mirrored me.
Okay, first of all, hi guys. Arxinium, Hyun, Lizard, my snort, Fit and Curvy, Miss Rain. Nice to see y'all. So glad y'all are here. Secondly, Pete Davidson's not a heroin addict. Pete Davidson looks the way that he does because he does have autoimmune disorders and stuff. So like he cannot help the way that he looks. He cannot help the fact that he has sunken eyes and he's very pale. It happens when you do stuff like have an autoimmune disorder. You know? But let's let him keep talking.
You already made everybody think I'm crazy. You already took my family away. You already separated all my friends. I don't got no celebrity friends. Because when I was on TV, on Instagram saying, I don't know where my child is, and the Kardashians kidnapped my daughter in public, and I didn't have the address of my child, none of these niggas that want to say something
Travis
now.
gave you the address, though?
Travis gave me the address. Right. But as far as Meek Mills, right, Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these niggas, all you fake hard niggas, fuck you.
This interview, Miss Rain Seattle, came out on October 16th and was subsequently removed on October 17th following a bunch of backlash for the things that he says. I am only showing a few clips from it. The full 3-hour interview is available inside of the Google Drive that I have linked in the description with all of my sources, all of my notes, and all of my screenshots.
Hold on. Okay. All you fake hard niggas, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck because you can't shoot nobody anyway. And the reason why you got to talk is because you did a deal, you fucking fed. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to come at me, because part of the deal for you to be a do all that and get out of jail is that you promise that you're going to go pull my co-car. So y'all niggas shut the fuck up about me. Now let me say it calm. You niggas shut the fuck up about Michael.
Right.
I'm Michael now. Right, Every Michael you can think of, but mostly Godfather Michael now. No. I'm Michael now. I'm Michael now. I am the richest.
Right. They say you're the richest black man in American history.
In history.
In American history. Can we make some noise for that? Goddamn it.
So I want y'all to run up on me.
No.
I want y'all to come kill me. No. I want you to smack me. No. I want you to do all the shit you rap about. No. All the shit you rap about. I want you to come do it now. Come down to this joint right now, please. Or otherwise, shut the fuck up unless you was there when the Kardashians kidnapped my kids. You understand? Now go and get y'all some motherfucking.
Yeah, the whole Kardashians kidnapping his kids thing, that was the January incident having to do with Chicago's birthday party. He has not and will not let that go, ever.
Business while we gonna get free, because I'm Moses out here. You know what I'm saying? I watched the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his 2 roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said, they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who do you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right?
Right.
but I know that we lost him.
Okay, so I don't know how many times I'm going to have to reiterate this. There have been multiple autopsies that have confirmed that George Floyd died of murder by police. He was murdered. Let's make that 1000% clear. He was murdered. But these are the types of ideals that he was promoting during Drink Champs. And just wait, there's more.
Say something about the hat. That's one of the things that really drove me to the edge.
Some of the MAGA hat.
The MAGA hat. Imagine your own wife telling you, "Oh, the hat's small dick energy." Meanwhile, the Clintons got them trying to get people to get vaccinated. I know somebody, I'm not going to say his name, where Kim and Chris got on the phone with them trying to get them to push the vaccination to Black people. Meaning that's how in tuned and how aligned.
Just so y'all know,
Clintons,
Kanye West
the
is
Kardashians
vaccinated.
were through
He's
Corey.
vaccinated.
Through Corey. Corey is a plant. Corey was, Puff Daddy, Nanny, Manny. You get what I'm saying? Then he was with Justin Bieber when Justin Bieber got in trouble. And then when Bruce did a transition to Caitlyn, he popped up. Now he run around like he Kylie Daddy. But he's there for the agenda and controlling the power of that family. 4 of those people in that family have been raised Christian by Rob Kardashian. I know y'all want a question, but I
think you just gotta let some of this out, and then we.
It's not even venting or inventing. It's up. They done fuck with me too long. Every time they say my name wrong, it's like they calling me Cassius. My name Ali. If I change my name, you respect that I changed my name. It shows you the level of disrespect. Every time they say one of my outfits are bizarre. When the last time you read a headline and they called me a billionaire? For 3 years, Forbes wouldn't say I was a billionaire. It's all to diminish me so y'all wouldn't listen to me. So say when I did the Ye and Drake show, right? It's so funny, I look up and it said Ye, DRK right there. But I look, it's just a similarity to it.
Like me?
Yeah, absolutely. Gemini dyslexic, left-handed, made to be right-handed so I could fit in.
Yes, Pecan Pie. Virgil, the man from Off-White that passed away. Virgil actually worked with Kanye West for a long time. Kanye likes to say that he's the one that found Virgil. He's the one that gave Virgil his voice. It's a whole thing. Currently, what he is going with is that his current conspiracy theory that he has been spouting off is that Virgil was given cancer by the higher powers in charge of the universe. Yeah. So that's a thing. Anyway. Yes, he does not consent to that name. My bad. He's Ye. He is Ye. He's Ye.
It was like a license deal. Okay. And the funny thing is they think they could give me a baby B, and you know the baby B? It's a billion, yeah, but it's just like it's like a little baby billion. It's like a little billion. It's like a little billion. It's a baby B.
That's above my pay grade. You said a baby B? No, I don't know what that is yet. I'm sorry. If you don't want it, we'll take the baby B.
Yeah, but they think they could just like run us with a baby B, little baby B. And the funny thing is, that, they'll give me that, and I'm making, more money than anybody that works at the Gap. But you want the information. It's like a friend that caught your girl cheating, right? how much is it worth to have the actual information? And then he said it, but then she's lying, right? So if you actually had something on camera or a phone or a text or a screen grab, what would that be worth to you? Let's say you bought a car or something like that. Wouldn't it be worth 2 cars just to have that text? Just to have it? I remember I found out some information one time. It was on the Super Bowl. I literally found it at the time when Tom Brady was throwing a touchdown. The audience is going like.
Now, see, what failed him the most is the fact that Ye is absolutely correct when he says that he is misdiagnosed. He is misdiagnosed. He very, very likely has schizophrenia rather than bipolar disorder. The problem is getting him to talk to someone so that he can be put on the right path, medication, therapies, everything that he would need to be able to get out of what he is currently in. The mental health shuffle does fail people all the time, but it is a matter of taking the initiative to put yourself back into the mental health shuffle and stick along with the mental health shuffle.
Like this, I was going like this. Yeah, I caught you now. You was lying the whole time. Like,
I'm talking about inflation.
What'd you say?
The inflation when the ball was.
No, not the inflation.
Okay.
This is a later date and shit.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, information is the most important resource to our species above water. Because with information, you can find water.
Yeah.
So Jewish people have information, Chinese people, it's not even information, it's intelligence, right? Because what is the definition of the word nigga? Ignorant. So it's intelligence. So you see a human being that can be looked at or classified as a nigga that is cocooning or breaking out of a cocoon into intelligence and bringing all of his niggas with him at the same time. And that is the way that we're gonna get free and come into our own power the way the Jewish people came into their power.
And avoiding misinformation, which is more of.
Misinformation like trauma economy, like the BLM. You know what I'm saying? When they do BLM, when they do school shootings, the same amount of people getting killed every week in Chicago, but they're not posting that. They're not showing that.
But why are you not posting that? Because you from Chicago. Barack Obama's from Chicago.
He's from Hawaii.
Oh, what is that?
No, he was born in Hawaii.
Oh, you said Hawaii?
Yeah. But he made his chops in Chicago.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because
from Hawaii.
That's the thing is, what's crazy is I noticed Clinton. When Clinton became into the administration, Little Rock, Arkansas became the most wildest place there was. And then when...
It didn't start with him going to
I'm just saying.
Little Rock was wild.
The George Floyd area, the free George Floyd zone that they made, the murder rate is up 50% since George Floyd. It's mayhem. It's Mad Max.
Yeah.
But keep going, what you're saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. What happens to these cities when we have somebody so... illustrious becomes from this city, and then now this city becomes the murder capital. Like that's what it seems like.
But look at like Barack, you know.
Hey, PP Gate. Hey, Ami.
When he went in. Look at the hair color when he went out.
Yeah, everyone said, yeah.
You know, like, because if you don't have the connections, you know, Trump had enough connections to make it into office, but he didn't have the Jewish media on his side. Because the Jewish media was already aligned with an agenda with the left, with the Chinese. So you got like Alex Baldwin dissing, you know, Trump as soon as he went in, used to be his boy. You got black people dissing Trump. Black people know they love Trump. Yeah. We used to have raps. Guess who the black Trump? You know.
But he could have been better at messaging. That's what I feel like the rhetoric was just unnecessary sometimes.
It was, but it's that frustration. It's like what I had to learn is like that thing I said with DEFCON, that was like me going Trump, you know, level. Right. You know, that was, you can't, as you see, when we got warmed up, it's like a conversation where, even in the beginning, we'll see if we want to use stuff in the beginning, if it's any of the messaging.
Right, yeah, I definitely need another one.
That we want to put out, you know.
You got me going, man.
The only possible way that I could have won, that I'm a win, the only possible way is for me to early on call out the Jewish media this early, right? Because they'll play nice with you. But I see them fucking with me, like the SoFi Stadium, like 78 media outlets calling me an abuser based off something Trevor Noah said, me being canceled from the Grammys, me being said, they saying that I said a racial slur because I said, Kumbaya, my lord, Kumbaya, talking about Trevor Noah. And then they kicked me off the Grammys, and I was slated to win Album of the Year for the first time in my life. It's my 10th album. It's the most number ones in Apple history, and I'm, you know, an incredible artist. It reached.
Clarification. He did in fact win. Like that wasn't a thing that just didn't happen. He did win. He was told to not perform. He was removed from performing because Trevor Noah was hosting, but he was still more than welcome to be there to receive his award, which he won at the Grammys. Just clarification, because histrionics are a thing sometimes for certain people.
At this point, and we don't even know who won Album of the Year. It got canceled by who? Jewish media. By the time 2024 runs around, the Jewish media, they're going to be my friends, because you can't just go into the White House like Trump did and have the entire American media against you. Because he can't get the work done. It's like having like 3 million Meek Mills at one time. At all times, every time you're talking, it's just Meek Mills, just talking shit about you. And you're trying to, you know, show that. When the last time you heard North Korea? You know what I'm saying? Trump did that. He came out the gate, boom. He did that. So I feel like that's like, for me as a musician, to mention the Jews is like North Korea for anyone else's career. And my dad said something to me, because my dad was proud of the shirt. He understood it. I was like, why you like that? He said, white lives matter. And he like, cry face, cry face. I said, why was that funny to you, Dad? My dad don't know none of my rap lyrics, something like that. He's political. He a genius. He like Steve Jobs. He got a water purification center in the DR. This nigga's smart, right?
Yeah, relax, Dominican people. Good.
So our focus is water, right? Our second most important resource, our second most important resource to knowledge is water. Our third is food. Our fourth is shelter.
Let me ask you, have you?
So yeah, there's way more to what was said in that entire 3-hour stream of him drinking with those guys and talking. Y'all can find the full thing in the Google Drive. It's there for you. I'm not going to let y'all go without. Yeah. So that caused a lot of controversy, causing the entire thing to get pulled on the 17th. And also on the 17th, we get this, which is just a lovely announcement from Parler. You know, the right-wing social media site that requires you to give your social security number in order to be able to access features like direct messaging. Yeah, Parler announced that Kanye West was purchasing them. George Farmer, the guy that owns Parler, is Candace Owens' husband. Just so y'all know. Yeah. So while all of that's going on, Universal Music Group releases a tweet that says, quote, "There is no place for anti-Semitism in our society. We are deeply committed to combating anti-Semitism and every other form of prejudice," end quote. They did not specifically name Kanye, but something that we have to know is that Universal Music Group does own Def Jam Records, which is the label that Kanye's music is under. Following the 2021 album Donda, he is actually no longer signed with Def Jam Records. They only have a business agreement with him in that they are in charge of his musical library up to a certain point. It's like 2012 to Donda. So, yeah. And that same day, we also get an interview between Kanye and someone else. This is always fun. Kanye interviews are just lovely. So here's a few clips.
That's real, that deal. You think it's going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
And why do you want Parler?
Well, the CEO is just really incredible. Like what he's been able to do. Like even before we discussed me taking ownership of it, he was able to get it unbanned off of Google and off of Apple. So people had there were some people who worked in social media that hit my people immediately saying that the app was banned, but it wasn't the case. He actually had worked on removing the ban on it. And why would I remain in a place where I'm just tolerated? Why not go to a place where I'm celebrated? It's actually something Kid Rock just gave me a text about that. Go to places where you're celebrated, not where you're just tolerated. You know, I bring a lot of attention to these platforms, to Instagram and to Twitter, and they silo you. They shadow ban you. Everyone knows I was shadow banned on Instagram. People would go and say, hey, you know, he's running the algorithm, whatever term they use. And then I'd see on my Instagram that I had only reached 30 million people. And that's because Instagram is, was purchased by Mark Zuckerberg, who, from what I can see, has a left agenda. So people are using their technology to silo any messaging that they don't agree with.
So couldn't it also be that you have said things
Hey,
that
Lady Hopium.
offend the community guidelines, like anti-Semitic comments and things that are seen as insensitive and potentially threatening to communities that we try to protect?
Well, I don't like the term anti-Semitic. It's been a term that's allowed people, specifically in my industry, to get away with murder sometimes, literally, and get away with robbing and doing bad people. People always say, I got screwed on a deal. Would that become as a surprise to you if I said, hey, a music exec screwed someone on a deal? Does that sound kind of like normal, commonplace to you? So for me,
it doesn't have anything to do with being anti-Semitic unless you believe that all record producers are Jewish, or, it's when you talk about Jewish people specifically
you're
as targeting them that creates a problem.
It's anti-Semitic, but I don't believe in that term. One thing is, Black people are also Jew. I classify as Jew also. So I actually can't be an anti-Semite. So the term is actually, it's not factual. But
I understand you think that, but I don't think that's a common understanding that Black people can say whatever they want about Jewish people.
Well, I'm willing to talk with inside the common understanding until we get the truth. The common understanding more oftentimes than not, nowadays, is not the truth.
Here's my concern for you. When I hear how you talk about your personal life and you put things out there and you get into these looping thoughts of what you believe, it sounds to me like you are sometimes out of control, and that this is something that you should be dealing with. Now, I'm not excusing your thoughts as illness, okay? People attacked me for that and said, hey, just because you're concerned about whether Kanye West is taking care of himself emotionally and mentally.
My name's Jay, sir. My name's Jay.
Ye, I'm sorry. Ye is taking care of himself mentally and emotionally. You shouldn't say that. He has to be held to account for what he says. Both things can be true. Have you been taking care of your health? And in terms of making sure that you are behaving and thinking at your best?
I love what the way you worded it. What you don't realize is when it runs back, people are going to say, wow, have you been making sure you're behaving? If you run that back,
that's not what I'm
you're
saying.
going to be like,
That's not
whoa.
what I'm saying. You're trying to cheapen the point. I'm trying to make sure that you're healthy and you're taking care of your health.
Did you work out this morning?
No.
Hey, Mo.
Okay.
I'm feeling so
The
fresh,
thing
let me
is,
tell you.
okay, so when do I have a...
But I took my medicine.
But
I took my antidepressant medication that I take every day.
Bro, you're cutting me off. When do I get a platform?
It's all you. Go.
Okay. I don't have to say how much money's in my account. I don't have to say who I voted on. I don't have to say why I changed my name. The life for a Black person in America is like a constant test. Even after we're out of high school, after we're out of college, we're always being questioned. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Do you think that I just had the right, and this is a rhetorical question because I don't want you to answer it. Do you think I had the right to just vote for Trump? I didn't even vote for Trump because of the people that were around me.
Yes, you have the right.
Okay, first of all, absolute kudos to Chris for just straight up saying, I took my antidepressant this morning because, yes, taking your meds is super important. Always take your meds. Take your fucking meds, people. Drink water. Take your meds. Okay, so that full interview is also in the Google Drive. Yeah. So that happened on the 17th. On October 18th, since we're working through this entire timeline of fuckery, we get this statement that was released by Witherspoon Law Firm and Dixon & Dixon Law Firm. Because the mother of George Floyd's daughter decided to sue Kanye West because of his statements that he made on Drink Champs in regards to George Floyd. His daughter already has to deal with enough. His daughter already has all of the people that are saying terrible things about her father and all of the people that are buying into the conspiracy that he wasn't actually murdered, which he was murdered again. So they're suing. That's what this is. They're suing. They made that announcement on the 18th. Now, on the 19th, we get an op-ed piece that is put out by Ari Emanuel, who is the CEO of Endeavor, which is one of the agencies out in LA. And in this op-ed, he encourages businesses that work with Kanye West to end their involvement with him following his anti-Semitic remarks. Quote, West is not just any person. He is a pop culture icon with millions of fans around the world, and among them are young people whose views are still being formed. This is why it is necessary for all of us to speak out. Hatred and anti-Semitism should have no place in our society, no matter how much money is at stake. We are all capable of learning and evolving, and if West would like to be educated about the history and consequences of anti-Semitism and the conspiracy theories he's parroting, if he wants to reach out to religious leaders, including rabbis, Muslim leaders, Christian leaders, I'd be happy to help, end quote. Emanuel also praised his clients, LeBron James and Maverick Carter, for not running an interview that was recorded for the Shop with Kanye, which I had told you guys about previously. Carter said in a statement that the interview would be scrapped due to Kanye's use of hate speech. Quote, those who continue to do business with West are giving his misguided hate an audience. There should be no tolerance anywhere for West's anti-Semitism. This is a moment in history where the stakes are high, and being open about our values and living them is essential. Silence and inaction are not an option, end quote. It's both sad and frustrating trying to deal with the mentally unstable. You can't reach them through the cyclical logic and constant excuses. It just devolves into rambling. I mean, it's primarily just, it's sad for the people that are going to be affected lifelong from these actions. And by that, I mean, you've got West's children who his daughter hears about this stuff all the time. Like it's out there in social media. She has friends at school that follow social media. She knows all about what's going on with her dad. That's not something that she should have to worry about or deal with. She's 9. Like it's very hard to want to help someone that doesn't want to help themselves. So, yeah. It's unfortunate, but that just is where we're at on that one. So on October 20th, we get a letter from the ADL that is to Adidas executives. And in this letter, they encourage Adidas to drop Kanye West because of all of the things that he has said and all of the things that he has done. He is just nonstop with the anti-Semitic tropes and everything. It's a bad look, and they want them to drop him because it is going to negatively reflect on Adidas for keeping up with that relationship, especially since all they said was it's under review and not actually do anything at this point. Lost my cursor. Oh, it's on the other screen. Sorry. So we get that from the ADL. Following this, on October 21st, Balenciaga officially cuts ties with Kanye, and the only thing that they said in a statement was, quote, Balenciaga has no longer any relationship nor any plans for future projects related to this artist. They did not elaborate further. Hey, Allie Dean. On the 21st as well, we get yet another Kanye interview. This time,
You don't hold accountability
Piers Morgan.
to my pain. You're being a Karen.
I'm talking
You
about.
don't
I'm
hold
talking. I'm not a
accountability
Karen.
to the pain.
I'm not a Karen, and I'm not going to cancel you, and I'm not going to uncensor you. I'm simply going to challenge you on what you're saying.
You can't.
I think you
can't
don't
cancel me.
understand the pain that you've been causing with some of these comments, and I think that one in particular, I can understand.
Oh my God! God forbid! God forbid! One comment could cause people to feel any of the pain that my people have went through for years. Even like the blacks being ushered to the left during the civil rights movement. No one has cared about black people.
All right.
No one is.
Let me say, I agree that the racism against black people has been utterly deplorable, shameful, unacceptable, and thank God the world is beginning to move to a better place about the way it has treated black people like you. However, one form of racism doesn't justify.
It's almost in a better place.
Well, one form of racism doesn't justify another.
It's not a better place.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm finishing my sentence. You can respond. One form of racism. It is racism when you say I'm going deaf for Jewish people.
I was in a position where I've been hurt, and this is the way I had the right to express myself. The point of this interview is for you to question me and then for me to answer and say, okay, even though the same rules are not applied to my people, if a person with a gun or drugs is pulled over and has 3 other people in the car, they're all going to jail. I'm not going to apply that to Jewish people for the sake of this conversation. Isn't that what you wanted? But you know what you did? You tried to civil rights me. You tried to pull me back to a week ago, but we're here today. There's been plenty of conversations and commentary since that, but you want me to go back to 1960.
No.
You want me to go back to 7 days ago.
All right, let me jump in. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to reflect.
Okay, so have we grown? Have we grown?
Here's how we grow. Yeah, here's how we grow. I want you to
No,
reflect.
have we grown?
I'm about
have
to.
we grown?
I'm
You're
about.
not in charge of my growth. You're not in charge of
I'm
my
about
growth,
to.
Chris.
Okay,
But
let me
here's how
let me
we
phrase it
grow.
like this. I'm about to suggest to you how you may grow if you choose to grow this way. And you
Why?
can ignore me. You can ignore me.
Pierce, how much money are you worth?
Not as much as you, sadly.
Exactly. So take my advice. Maybe you'll get richer.
I would love to take your business advice.
Why would I listen to you?
Well, why don't you hear what my advice is and then work out if I'm wrong? Can we do that deal?
Well, the thing is, you haven't given me any credit or a moment of reflection for the comparison that I made, the brilliant, if I do say so myself, comparison that I made to the cops pulling over one black person and locking everyone up.
I understand what you're saying.
And my tweet having issues. Wait a second, I wasn't done with the sentence. My tweet referring to all Jewish people, I said, for the sake of this conversation, I will refer to the business people who have destroyed me and my people and my fellow creatives. But you didn't even accept that I gave you that. You tried to push me back into 1960.
No, I didn't.
You tried to push me back into last week.
No, I didn't.
Okay, do you accept that example that I gave you?
I understand completely the example you gave me. I think all racism is wrong.
So I feel that we've grown.
I would like you to reflect.
I feel we've grown.
If
you feel we've grown?
If you've now changed what you wanted to say originally, my question for you is, do you now regret saying death gone free on Jewish people? Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I don't think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not. You know, I will say I'm sorry for the people that are hurt with the DEF CON, the confusion that I call. I feel like I cause hurt and confusion. And I'm sorry for the families of the people that had nothing to do with the trauma that I had been through, and that I use my platform where you say hurt people. And I was hurt.
Yeah. It's an uncensored interview. You said something which you've now wished you hadn't said, and you've apologized. I actually think that says a lot about you, right? That shows you've got that ability to be self-aware, to understand when you cross a line. I think someone like you, with all your energy and creativity and your passion, you're going to say stuff. The way that you talk constantly.
Miss Rain Seattle, it actually his net worth is not overstated. In fact, last year Bloomberg did receive an unaudited finance sheet in regards to Kanye West. He has about 122 million in cash and assets, and then he has about 4.7 billion in other assets, such as his Yeezy clothing line, his Yeezy by Gap stuff. Like motherfucker's rich. Like his wealth is definitely not overstated. He also has 3 primary properties. He has the mansion across the street from Kim Kardashian. He has the Calabasas location that currently houses the Sunday service. And he has the Wyoming ranch that he takes on and off the market depending on Kim Kardashian's relationship status.
And in such an extraordinary manner, you're going to trip up. You're going to say things the wrong way. I don't think there's anything wrong in when you do that, doing what you just did and saying, look, I'm sorry, I crossed a line, I apologize.
I want to say that it's wrong to hold an apology hostage, and I got to let go of that and free myself of the trauma and say, look, I'm just going to give it all up to God right now and say to those families that are hurt, I really want to give you guys a big hug. And I want to, I say, I'm sorry for hurting you with my comments. And I want to word it in not like a political way, but
no, he was worth 4.5 billion. And after the Adidas deal was nuked, it did jump down to around 400 million because that Adidas deal with Gap and Adidas and everyone else was primarily where his wealth was at because of the success. So, yeah, it's a whole thing.
In a presidential way, which means what I knew a president to be when I was growing up.
So, yeah, there was a lot more said during the Piers Morgan interview, obviously. That is also in the drive if you want to watch the full thing. I just don't want to get myself nuked for using Piers Morgan. So, I have not found any updates on that. I do, however, have other lawsuit updates that I will be giving throughout the timeline. Okay, so Piers Morgan did the interview, and then Vogue released a statement to Page 6 where they revealed that Anna Wintour, the head person of Vogue, states, quote, Anna has had, well, an insider said, quote, Anna has had enough. She made it very clear inside Vogue that Kanye is no longer part of the inner circle, end quote. So, Vogue has dropped him now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he would. That's why I only did that one clip. Oh, fucking 5-minute crafts always taking us down. So, October 23rd, in the morning, we get this image that spreads across Twitter like fucking wildfire. The sign says, Kanye is right about the Jews. And yeah, that is on the 405 freeway overpass in Los Angeles. So, not much else you can really say about that one. Yeah. Jeremy Zimmer of United Talent Agency put out a company-wide memo to staff following the release of this picture titled Rise of Anti-Semitism and Hate, writing that Kanye's comments, quote, embolden others to amplify their vile beliefs. In the memo, he referenced the widely circulated image of people on the 405 freeway overpass with signs that included Kanye is right about the Jews, as well as the Mapping Project, an anonymous effort that is purported to show links between Jewish businesses in Massachusetts and, quote, support for the colonization of Palestine, end quote. Zimmer said, whether it's signs on the 405 in Los Angeles, flyers on doorsteps, mapping Jewish businesses in Boston, or marching with hoods and crosses, all of these behaviors ignite the embers of bigotry and they must not be tolerated. So, UTA officially done with Kanye as of October 23rd. Bob Gersh of the Gersh Agency, which is another talent agency in LA that's huge, said, quote, this is as low as it can get. This is the most blatant form of hatred and anti-Semitism one could imagine. It doesn't get any worse than this. People really need to hammer these companies in business with him to impress upon them how wrong it is to support somebody like this. Business silence on Kanye West's anti-Semitism is not an option, end quote. He called Ari Emanuel's stance right on and credited his longtime rival for taking a public stand. He said, people need to speak out. We can't stay silent and we have to keep it up. Like on the abortion front, we can't let up. We've got to be talking about it in a month or two from now as well. Yeah. Yeah, BB-8. Yeah. Yeah, he is. And he's still with them. Antonio Brown is still part of Donda Sports. He has not left. Yeah. On October 24th, Tamar Andrews, which I told you guys about yesterday, who is one of the people that consults for the Donda Academy, her resignation from Donda Academy is officially made public. See, Tamar Andrews, she works with two of the biggest Jewish schools in LA. She works with Temple Isaiah and the American Jewish University. And the president of Temple Isaiah of Los Angeles released a statement that said, Dr. Andrews immediately resigned from Donda Academy following West's tweet, her last day was October 11th, 2022, as she felt she could no longer support the organization. Both Andrews and the American Jewish University they declined to share a statement. They're not talking on it. That one thing was put out. That's it. She's done. Jaylen Brown, who, as we know, is a part of the Donda Sports team, publicly spoke on where he stands with Donda Sports and Kanye West on the 24th, saying that despite Kanye's repeated anti-Semitic remarks, that he doesn't condone them, but he wasn't going to leave Donda Sports. He said that despite the criticism towards Kanye, he's more focused on the agency's mission and positive impact. And he defined his current relationship with Kanye as, quote, a sensitive subject, adding that it's hard to comment on it because it's being evaluated. Direct quote from him, he's someone who's obviously dealing with a lot of adversity that's in front of him right now, and everybody can see it, and it's public. But a lot of people in the world are dealing with adversity and things that are going on that's in front of them, and they need help. It's a lot going on right now. It is a lot going on, but that is no reason to stay with an organization being led by someone that's willing to do all of this publicly. Just throwing that out there. So CAA, which is another talent agency in LA, Kanye was signed with them for 1 year. It was 2016 when he went on tour, and he hasn't done anything with them since, but they also dropped him that day. MRC Entertainment, who was working on a Kanye West documentary, they also released a statement. Hold on. Because, like I said, everything was happening all at once at this point. It was just thing after thing after thing. There was no stopping the snowball effect once it got started. So, MRC Entertainment, when they put out the official statement here for the shelving of the Kanye West documentary, they said it cannot support any content that amplifies his platform. Quote, Kanye is a producer and sampler of music. Last week, he sampled and remixed a classic tune that has charted for over 3,000 years. The lie that Jews are evil and conspire to control the world for their own gain. This song was performed a cappella in the time of the pharaohs, Babylon, and Rome, when acoustic with the Spanish Inquisition and Russia's Pale of Settlement, and Hitler took the song electric. Kanye has now helped mainstream it in the modern era, end quote. Also on this day, the Lex Friedman Kanye West interview drops. Because Kanye would want to sit down with a Jewish individual to talk about his views on the Holocaust and his anti-Semitist remarks, you know?
Technology and original human species can exist in a peaceful way, as long as the people that know how to make robots aren't using their robots to control the humans. Lex?
It definitely is something you have to be concerned about as we become more technologically savvy. That, my friend, is why engineering isn't everything. That you have to desperately study the lessons of history. In Nazi Germany, science was used to create atrocities. Engineering, the same. Engineering could be a tool of war.
We're still in the Holocaust. A Jewish friend of mine said, go visit the Holocaust Museum. And my response was, let's visit our Holocaust Museum, Planned Parenthood.
With all due respect, I grew up in the Soviet Union. I'm Jewish. Parts of my family perished in the Holocaust of Nazi Germany, I have to push back that there is a difference of the atrocities at that scale, at that time, on an entire people.
I was going to say the number. That's the difference.
It's not the number.
Because 6 million, well, also African Americans are actually Jew also, the lost tribe of
I can
Israel.
push back on that too.
Okay, so, well, everyone came from Africa.
I am African. I'm basically African American. We're brothers.
And we're both Jew, and we're brothers. So
we're human.
6 million people died in the Holocaust. Over 20 million have died by the hands of abortion. And the media promotes the My Body, My Choice, which is actually still a promotion for Planned Parenthood. 50% of Black deaths a year is actually abortion. It's not the cop with the knee. It's not Black on Black violence and gang violence. It's not heart attacks. It's actually abortion. The most dangerous place for a Black person in America is in their mother's stomach.
There's 900 to 1 million abortions in the United States a year. I hear you. But there's something about the rape, the torture, the murder of children, women, men, the complete humiliation and just the suffering that was endured during World War II.
That's what we deal with on our TVs right now with Black people. Soros would use Black trauma economy to win an election. And what I love is having a healthy conversation. And as opposed to, there's certain things, boom, this drops, people going to have pussy hats on. Boom, this drops, it's going to be, Black people and white people with signs. Boom, this drops. So, hey, China, hey, left agenda, hey, what we're going to do is say that our species can have a healthy conversation. Can
I just linger on this? Because when you say Jewish media, there's a echo of a pain that people feel that reminds
you're saying it's redundant, right?
No, I'm not saying it's redundant. I'm saying
it's redundant.
You're saying it's redundant.
It's a redundant
I'm saying
statement.
it's something I'm saying that it's something that Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany, said. I'm saying it's been said so many times in order to murder and torture Jewish people that it just rings wrong.
And that's the
just
thing.
like the N word when spoken by people that have the same skin color as me, it reminds people of a very dark time.
I know. If Jewish people would accept that I'm Jew, then they would see what I'm saying in a different way. They would hear it in a different way.
But see, the people, you saying you're Jewish,
no, I'm Jew, not Jewish. Jewish means like that of a Jew. I'm saying I'm Jew.
You're Jew.
Blood of Christ.
That
Orthodox Christian.
Right. But are you a follower of the philosophy of the Black Hebrew Israelites? Because that's where the idea comes from. Not all of those folks are extremists, but some are extremists.
I'm a follower of the idea.
Ha, I pulled a Parker. I was muted. Okay, anyway. So brief clarification here. The Southern Poverty Law Group has actually reclassified Black Hebrew Israelites as just radical Hebrew Israelites because there are people that are Latino, there are people that are indigenous that also follow Hebrew Israelite teachings, and there are people that call themselves Black Hebrew Israelites that don't follow the radicalized notion of the thought process. So radical Hebrew Israelites can encompass all of them. Just letting y'all know. That's a recent change. Kind of important to the distinction and clarification. Well, I mean, I'm in the South and I learned that. But you also have to consider that a lot of people that follow the same type of thought process that Kanye West is putting out there choose to ignore science for the sake of their platform. I might actually pay money to see that. That would be interesting.
I have a vague idea that all people came from Africa. But what I wanted to do, now I could Andy Kaufman this about 7 more minutes, and then tell you what it is. What the whole point is.
Let's count 7 minutes.
No,
do less.
I did this to do a spoiler alert.
Sure, spoiler.
What's the first thing I said at the beginning?
We're talking about engineering and humans. We're all
and
human.
I said, and then what did I say we shouldn't focus on?
Race.
Not just that. I said they shouldn't teach this in school.
History.
The history, because what they do, what schools are doing is exactly what the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films. They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes a purchase of ice cream. Off that pain comes, I need some more toys. Off that pain comes, I need a bigger house. Off that pain comes, I need more girls than my wife. Off that pain comes, so they put that pain in to make us, now we're the orphans of capitalism, to make us be consumers. And we need to be a community, not just consumers. So I could have went another 7 minutes by being a person who presents himself in a way that says, well, I don't have to feel your pain because I also have pain too that's not being recognized. And in every interview, when I say, well, why did I get to the point of putting up the tweet? No one wants to understand why I got to that point,
You
right?
had pain. You had pain.
Yeah, but
You
no
had
one
pain in your heart.
But let's say this. Undoubtedly, Jewish people have a lot of movies about that pain, and Black people have a lot of movies about the pain of slavery, right? It's almost impossible to find a movie about Mansa Musa. When you go to the African History Museum in Washington, D.C., it doesn't start with the idea of Africans being kings. It starts with the idea of Africans being slaves. But here's another interesting point about this. This was said to me one time, and it stuck with me as a family member of mine. With Africans, how many times you've heard like a rapper, talk about we were kings? That's incorrect. If we're Jew, and since we are, we weren't the kings. We were the slaves that Moses freed. Africans have always said, you've listened to rap music and hear Black people say, we kings, we blood of the pharaohs. And if we are Jew, then we weren't. We were the people that Moses freed. And when we talk about, have you heard Black people talk about 400 years of slavery?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is and we're having this history lesson, right?
I thought history doesn't matter. You're exploring ancient history and drawing deep wisdom from it. And at the same time saying we need to forget all of it. We need to put that behind us.
Absolutely. We need to forget it and we need to move forward.
There's so much wisdom to draw from history, even the 20th century. Look at this, communism. Without the lessons of history of the 20th century, communism sounds like a great idea, except that some of the worst atrocities conducted by Stalin and Mao that killed 50, 100 plus million people, not just killed, tortured, starvation, where people, cannibalism, they ate each other, they ate their children. There's just dark people should read some books on this, on the Holodomor in the 1930s.
But I disagree.
With that lesson, we would, and now it's becoming more popular. Marxism and communism.
I'm not disagreeing that happened. I'm disagreeing that we need to harp on the things that happen, because the truth is, I'm giving a fact. 50% today of, let's say you don't call Black people Jew, right? Black people's deaths today is abortion today, right now. Like that, it's not racism. That's too wide of a term. It's genocide and population control that Black people are in today in America that is promoted by the music and the media that Black people make, that Jewish record labels get paid off of, or media companies, record labels and media company also. So let's give it a wider.
I agree with Martin Luther King. I have a dream too.
Martin Luther
that one
King
day you would not be judged by the color of your skin or your race, Black or Jew, but by the content of your character. All the assholes that fucked you over in the music industry, fuck artists over in the music industry, are individuals. They're not Jews.
They are Jewish.
It doesn't. They're human with opportunities, and they took those opportunities. I don't care if they're Jewish.
Do you feel like I should release that pain and separate it?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're saying I should release that pain and separate it, then I'm telling you should release your pain and separate it, and we could get to the list of how you are being with engineering opportunities.
That's 100%. I see what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. The pain, I'm going to let it go. Engineering challenges. I get it.
I absolutely commend Lex Friedman for being able to sit down with Kanye and have these discussions without wanting to absolutely murder everyone. Because it's a lot. It is a lot to try and have a conversation with someone who is firmly holding on to these beliefs. Oh, hey, I have a bot in the chat. I've made it. Yay. Bot. Why are we platforming a talentless idiot that thinks dressing like a bird shit covered bum and spewing nonsense is profound? Well, Lex Friedman, while his channel is pretty popular, he is not a very large platform comparatively. Like news organizations and stuff, platforming Kanye is one thing. Lex Friedman was trying to have like an actual discussion on his thought process and beliefs, which is commendable because no one's really talking to him about the nuances of what he is saying in regards to things like the history of the fucking world. They're just letting him spew his nonsense. Yes, dictatorships are communism in a world where every Black person is Jewish. I'm sorry, he said a Jew, not Jewish. Yeah. 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 So, that was a thing that happened. And the full interview, of course, is in the drive as well because it was very long. It was very good. It really highlighted where Kanye's at mentally at that point in everything that's going on. Mind you, this was the 24th of October, so it wasn't that long ago. Yeah. Yeah. And yes, he is indeed a bucket load of crazy, but you cannot help someone that is not willing to help themselves. So, also on the 24th, we have the California Legislative Jewish Caucus, who released their own statement in regards to Kanye West. They're pretty much just parroting everyone else. They do not approve of what Kanye is saying and doing. They do not approve of the companies that are still associated and working with Kanye. They would like for Adidas to end their partnership with Kanye. Everyone is sort of on the same stance at this point in terms of Y'all need to quit platforming him. It's not good. Also on this day, Kim Kardashian put out a thing on Instagram where she stated, hate speech is never okay or excusable. I stand together with the Jewish community and call on the terrible violence and hateful rhetoric towards them to come to an immediate end. Now, we all know that this is in reference to Kanye, however, comma space. She never actually says his name in it. So kudos to her, because once again, she is keeping her mouth shut on this. She's not making it a point to have her name attached to anything going on with Kanye, because her oldest child does hear about it. She knows all about it, and Kim doesn't want her name attached to anything going on. She doesn't want any sort of bad juju there. So good job, Mom, taking the proper mom stance. Now, we go to the next day, the 25th, where we get a statement from Gap. Because as we know, like I said yesterday, the Gap, Kanye had already ended their relationship with Gap. Like, Kanye had already done all that. Gap was working towards getting rid of all of their product. So October 25th, they stated, in September, Gap announced ending its Yeezy Gap partnership. Our former partner's recent remarks and behavior further underscore why. We are taking immediate steps to remove Yeezy Gap product from our stores, and we have shut down YeezyGap.com. Anti-Semitism, racism, and hate in any form are inexcusable and not tolerated in accordance with our values. On behalf of all of our customers, employees, and shareholders, we are partnering with organizations to combat hatred and discrimination. So, that partnership definitely 1000% finished. There's no going back. They have officially shut everything down in regards to their association with him. That same day, Adidas finally puts out an official statement. Adidas does not tolerate anti-Semitism and any other sort of hate speech. Ye's recent comments and actions have been unacceptable, hateful, and dangerous, and they violate the company's values of diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness. After a thorough review, the company has taken the decision to terminate the partnership with Ye immediately, end production of Yeezy-branded products, and stop all payments to Ye and his companies. Adidas will stop the Adidas Yeezy business with immediate effect. This is expected to have a short-term negative impact of up to 250 million euros on the company's net income in 2022, given the high seasonality of the fourth quarter. Adidas is the sole owner of all design rights to existing products, as well as previous and new colorways under the partnership. So now, not only is their partnership officially ended, but Adidas owns all that shit. Ye doesn't own any of it. Ye is just completely like, they're like, no, we're done. It's over. And now it has come out that what had happened with the Adidas partnership when they said that that it was under review. What happened was that they had already decided, we're going to end this partnership. We are going to be done with everything. But they had to consult lawyers. So that's why it took them so long for them to be able to do anything. That's why they couldn't. They had to make sure that they were legally in the right and could do that. So, yes, Miss Rain Seattle, but that is not until the 28th. So we're a few days away. Don't worry. We're on the 25th. There's a lot Like it's just this whole big giant snowball. Like everything was happening all throughout these last few days. So Kanye terminated by Adidas. That shit's done. That shit's gone. That same day, Aaron Donald of Donda Sports also releases a statement explaining that his family, because as we know in the last stream, he talked about how, you know, what him and his wife could do and be a part of with Donda Sports was very important. Well, they decided that their family could not stand along with Donda Sports because their values do not line up with those of Ye's. So they put out the official statement saying that we're done, we're over, we're out of Donda Sports. So, absolutely done. And then, as we know, on the 24th, Jaylen Brown was like, yeah, no, I'm going to stay with Donda Sports. It's fine. It's cool. Well, he changed his mind. Because on the 25th, he also released a statement saying that in the past 24 hours, he's been able to reflect and better understand on his previous statements and how they lack clarity. And yeah, so he left Donda Sports as well. So all in the same day. All in the same day. You have Gap pulling the remainder of the inventory and shutting down EasyGap.com. Adidas officially releases their statements letting people know that he is no longer associated with them, and they own all of the product and all of the designs and all of the color choices. You got Aaron Donald and Jalen Smith leaving. Oh, and then Foot Locker also drops them. Foot Locker says, quote, "We will not be supporting any future Yeezy product drops, and we have instructed our retail operators to pull any existing product from our shelves and digital sites." They also noted that they will remain a partner with Adidas and carry a wide assortment of their collections. So Foot Locker is done. And then The Real Real, which is a resale website that's based out of San Francisco, says, quote, "Kanye West's recent behavior at Paris Fashion Week and the comments he made regarding the Jewish community are not only offensive, but are harmful and go against everything we believe in. For this reason, we are no longer accepting items associated with Kanye or his brand, including Yeezy and Yeezy X Adidas." So yeah, all at once, all of this happened on the 25th. And then the next day, the 26th, basketball tournaments began dropping the Donda Doves basketball team from their events. The Hoop Hall Classic in Springfield, Massachusetts, which was supposed to be held January 15th, released a statement saying, quote, "While there had been discussions about Donda Academy's participation in the 2023 Hoop Hall Classic, they will not be included in our upcoming announcement of the showcase's field." Jeremy Treatman, the organizer of the Play-by-Play Classic, which they were set to play in on December 11th in Kentucky, said in an interview that they feel terrible for the Donda Academy players, but, quote, "I just feel like it was a no-brainer, and I just don't want to be associated with his school right now. We've been normalizing too much stuff in the last 4 years. We, as a company, cannot normalize these words and behavior and hate message. We can't, with good conscience, have them. So Donda Academy's basketball players who have absolutely nothing to do with what Kanye is doing are being punished for his words and actions by being dropped from various places. TJ Maxx on the 26th also drops Kanye. Quote, "At TJX, we do not tolerate discrimination, harassment, or hate of any kind. We have instructed our buying teams not to purchase this merchandise for sale in any of our stores globally." Skechers. So Kanye, after being dropped from Gap and being dropped from Adidas and being dropped from The Real and Foot Locker and everyone. Skechers has their own statement to say because he showed up unannounced to their headquarters and demanded a meeting. Skechers is run by Jewish people. Like, it is. It absolutely is. Yeah. So, Kanye West, also referred to as Ye, arrived unannounced and without invitation at one of Skechers' corporate offices in Los Angeles. Considering Ye was engaged in unauthorized filming, 2 Skechers executives escorted him and his party out of the building after a brief conversation. Skechers is not considering and has no intention of working with West. We condemn his recent divisive remarks and do not tolerate anti-Semitism or any other form of hate speech. The company would like to again stress that West showed up unannounced and uninvited to Skechers' corporate offices. Dude just walked in demanding a meeting. You don't do that. That's not how business works. Yes, the SNL Skechers skit was amazing, but I unfortunately cannot show it here. I really wanted to, but NBC Universal, I'm not about to try and fight with them. So Skechers drops them. And then that same day, we're still on the 26th. Like, he still has all of this stuff happening all at the same time. The 26th, Stim and Kano. Stim is the little player that's like $200 that some of his music was exclusively released on. Said, quote, Stim was created and is owned by Kano, Kano, the education computer company. We've removed Kanye's music from our platform and turned down his $10 million off to buy our technology. Instead, your money will go to a company that is focused on giving power to artists and the artist in everyone. Power based in truth and unity, not lies and hate. A portion of profits on the new STEM devices will go to the ADL and NAACP. So yeah, they dropped them too. Madame Tussauds, you know, the people that do the wax figures, the wax museum people, they also dropped Kanye because like Kanye had like a wax figure at the London Wax Museum, and they said in a statement, quote, Ye's figure has been retired from the attraction floor to our archive. Each profile earns their place at Madame Tussauds, and we listen to our guests and the public on who they expect to see at the attraction. So, yeah, there goes that. So, again, just a brief recap on that one day, the 26th. Basketball tournaments dropped the Doves basketball team. TJ Maxx dropped Kanye. Skechers released a statement on not wanting to ever have anything to do with Kanye. Stim and Kano drop him. And Madame Tussauds drop him. All in the same day. Which leads us to the 27th, because it's still going. Like I said, it's a massive snowball that just is not stopping. It seems to have slowed down some now, but it wasn't going slow before. Now, on the 27th, he did put out a couple of Instagram posts that were later deleted. Jason Lee, here's the clout you're looking for. My school is being shut down. You want to help or hurt. Now, Jason Lee used to work for Kanye. He left before the White Lives Matter shirt incident. He currently runs HollywoodUnlocked.com. So he put out the statement directly to him. And then he put out this to Ari Emanuel. I lost $2 billion in one day and I'm still alive. This is love speech. I still love you. God still loves you. The money is not who I am. The people is who I am. Following that, Donda parents received an email from the school. Where is it? I know I have it. Where you at? Here it is. This is the email that was received by Donda Academy parents. Dear Donda Academy families, we hope this email finds you well. First, we would like to express our gratitude for the community of families and scholars that Donda Academy brought together. However, at the discretion of our founder, Donda Academy will close for the remainder of the 2022-2023 school year, effective immediately, Thursday, October 27th. There is no school tomorrow. Our leadership team will be working diligently to assist all families during this transition, ensuring that every scholar has what they need to succeed in their next community in a prompt and gracious manner. We intend to begin afresh in September of 2023, and we are confident that our scholars will continue to advance as the creative innovators, courageous influencers, and academic leaders of the next generation. So, Donda Academy sent out the email saying they're shut down. That email is actually a little bit weird, and we will get to that in a little bit. But yeah, so that email sent out. Christie's auction house, who is in charge of selling the Nike Air Yeezy 1 prototypes that are currently the most expensive shoes in the world. They halted the auction of the shoes, saying, quote, "We are not selling any of this material, nor do we have any plans to do so." So Christie's auction house, a private auction house, also dropped him. Jaylen Brown, who is very concerned about everything going on with the school, tweets out, "High school students are potentially getting their scholarships pulled for their affiliation with Donda. Are we serious?" Which is a great question, because the basketball players have nothing to do with anything that Kanye's doing. They didn't say what he did. They didn't support anything that he did. They are not directly involved or associated. They genuinely should not be punished for this. And then we get this tweet, who is from Chuck Bailey III. Chuck Bailey III is one of Donda's basketball players. "Due to everything that has been going on with Mr. West, last week my family and I decided to part ways with Donda Academy. Thank you." Very straightforward, to the point. He left Donda. Well, at the same time, an article gets posted, once again, about the school's campus in Simi Valley. Come to find out, that campus has been abandoned for over a year. That publicly listed address, over a year. It's been empty. So, the academy, which is said to have a $15,000 a year tuition, had the publicly listed Simi Valley location since August of last year, which I showed y'all on the business license information. But someone that lives near the school says that the campus has been abandoned since around Thanksgiving 2021. Ventura County Building and Safety Director Ruben Barbera has said that the school had been issued 5 building permits last year, but that no calls for inspection or any building progress had been made since October 2021, and the permits were set to expire soon. Now, I did some research, because of course I did, and I have found that there is a new listing for Donda Academy with the California location. Now, see, it does list the new Los Angeles location. And, you know, Miss Brianne Campbell is still the head of the school, even though she has no experience in camp. It is K through 12. Does say that the open date of the school was November of 2021, so that is officially when the address change happened. In fact, the address change did happen sooner than that. I do have the information from the last business filing for the school. However, comma space, I will not show that on here because, as you can see, all of this information was redacted at the request of the school for the safety of the children that go to the school. You know, they don't want paparazzi showing up and like bombarding the kids. They don't want people fucking with the kids. And I agree with that, so I will not show it here. But yes, it is at an industrial space in Chatsworth, which is the Los Angeles Unified School District. So they also did register to be able to have a minibus. As you can see, I also redacted the information because y'all need to know that, because it's for the privacy and safety of the students. So that change did in fact happen. Now, the full affidavit for the school, it's not going to be available until next summer. That's generally when they release the full information that has been given. So I can double check some information once that happens. So just hours after the school was given the whole, oh, we're closing email, they ended up getting another email that was around midnight, roughly, letting them know, oh, hey, just kidding, we're still open. This time it didn't come from the principal. It came from the parents of Donda. Join us tomorrow morning in worship for the return of Donda Academy. With the help of our parents and community, we are back and returning with a vengeance. The children of Donda are going to change the world. Apologies for the late email. See you bright and early. So they did take the day off on the 27th, and on the 28th, they did return to school. Well, yeah. It's like I said, the stream yesterday, the very first thing that they do is a full school worship before they have class and stuff. So, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. So, school's open again. There has been confirmation that there are students and parents and teachers and stuff at the Chatsworth location. So school is very much still in session. So we know that. Hooray for them. On the 28th, Goodwill Goodwill sent out a memo to all of their stores that instructed for the removal of all Yeezy products. The memo was officially sent out on the evening of the 27th, but was not published until the 28th, which is why I have it listed under the 28th. As we strive to maintain the most up-to-date product information on elevated brands available to sell, we are sensitive to current events and take action when designers and brands do not align with our mission and Rise values. We are currently removing the sale of Adidas Yeezy brand products from all channels, retail stores, boutiques, e-commerce, and outlets, as well as from our elevated brands tool. So yeah. Goodwill, also done with him. Just another brand that has absolutely decided to give up on Ye for good reason. Put it that way. It's for good reason. So, also on the 28th, a list of all major law firms no longer working with Kanye West was released. The list includes Quinn Emanuel, Urquhart and Sullivan, Cadwallader, Wickersham and Taft, Stradley Ronan, Stevens and Young, Brown Rudnick, Cohen Clare, Lands, Graff, Thorpe, and Rottenstrike. So yeah, all of these major law firms, nothing to do with Kanye. Absolutely nothing to do with him. On that same day, Jaylen Brown sends out a tweet, a couple of tweets actually, trying to help the Donda Doves basketball team because, again, they had nothing to do with any of this. They are not involved in Kanye's fuck shittery. So to any high school basketball coaches and event coordinators, the student athletes can't be negatively impacted by this. I will sponsor any event existing or new willing to host Donda Academy. We must ensure that they complete their senior year both academically and athletically. Contact me. So, hold on. About to get ahead of myself there. So, he's wanting to host teams. He wants to have the students be able to do what they want to do, which is play basketball. That's all they want to fucking do. So, on this same day, Kanye is sued by his former business manager, Thomas St. John, for $4.5 million. The Miami Herald also reports that Kanye West is once again being sued. This time, he is being sued by Surface Media for unpaid rent and other expenses on a space that he rented out in January. This is the same space where he was like, I'm supposed to be in Miami filming my album, or recording my record, when he was busy looking for Chicago's birthday party. So yeah, he's being sued for the rent and other expenses. The Herald also confirmed that George Floyd's family would not be moving forward with their lawsuit because as of right now, the cease and desist that they had sent out had been working, getting him to like not talk about Floyd or anything. So that was on the back burner. On the 29th, Jaylen Brown comes back to Twitter letting us know that he did indeed get something organized. Morehouse College decided to host the Donda Doves official basketball game of the season in Atlanta, which is great. Good for them. He said that our youth needs our support more than ever. If you can stop by, come out November 6th. And he's right. They have nothing to do with what's going on and should not be penalized. They shouldn't. It's not their fault. They have nothing to do with anything going on. But Kanye put this out as well on the 29th. While I'm still allowed on Mark Zuckerberg platform, I'm going to say this again. Let's see the contracts, the film contracts, the sports contracts, music contracts, mortgages. Let's see the contracts so we can, or better yet, we will do better business. I've been beat to a pulp and there's still no accountability. They want you to take accountability, Kanye. They want you to take accountability. That's the issue. They're not trying to take accountability for the things that you have said and the things that you have done. That is on you. Simple as. Also, Lizard, I would like more pickles. Hi, me, yes, pickles. So, following this, Kanye goes to his daughter's basketball game. Northwest has a basketball game that night, and Kanye is in attendance. And what does he do? He does a weird fucking interview with paparazzi after the game.
How you feeling, brother?
I feel good. You look great. Thank you very much, sir. You look great, my girl.
Thank you, Kanye.
Do you want to talk about anything, Kanye? I mean, do you think you're being unfairly targeted for the comments that you've been making?
You feel like it's unfair? Yes, absolutely.
You know, I mean, anti-Semitic statements are never good for anybody, right? It's kind of like being anti-black.
But I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like a unethical by. All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type of wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you regret your statements? Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, you know, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, you know, vilified. You know, I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, you know, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish.
He has a list of executives where he highlighted in red which ones are Jewish. That's a really weird thing to just have on your phone. Like that's a really fucking weird thing to just have available to you whenever you want. Why is that on your phone? Why do you just carry that around? It is a hygiene thing. It's not a Catholic thing. That is very much a hygiene thing. Don't worry, you aren't crazy. Yeah, those are kind of the vibes it's giving. Yeah, he does. And all of the people that have already dropped him. Yeah.
At these companies.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Was that what happened?
Well, what I said is, hey, you know, I've had experiences where it felt like I was being teamed up on, and I didn't realize that that term would be considered to be anti-Semitic. So I had a mediation with Adidas today, and I think Adidas felt like because everyone else was ganging up on me that they had the right to just take my designs, and I feel like right now I feel like
they did not take your designs. They own your designs per your contract. That's on you for not getting that contract written in a way that would benefit you.
Like that was in Christianity, we don't say karma, we say you reap what you sow. And I feel like this is God humbling me right now because there's two things that are happening. A lot of times when I would say, oh, I'm the richest black man, it would be a defense that I would use for the mental health conversation. To say, oh, you guys say I'm crazy, but look at this, I made money. And but that is not godlike to be showing off. So if it's not godlike, then God will take that because it's all the church's money, right? So what's happening right now is I'm being humbled. Another thing that's happening is by me being burned to the flesh every single day, it's actually proving what I had to say. So when I went to the mediation, what I want to say is like black people are like, okay, yes. Lex Friedman got you to apologize. Pierce Morgan got you to apologize to the Jews, but you never apologized to us about the George Floyd comment that made us feel bad. Now, the thing is, okay, JFK, they got a lot of documentaries about how it happened. So we can argue about how it happened, which I like the fact that we can do that. But regardless, when I see that video as a black person, it hurts my feelings. And I know that police do attack and America is generally racist. And I understand that when we got to say Black Lives Matter, that the idea of it made us feel good together as a person, as a people, right? When let me say it so the soundbite is better for you guys. When the idea Black Lives Matter came out, it made us come together as a people. Now afterwards, yes, there was some things where the money went. There were some things where it was used in order to push us to the Democratic vote. There were people behind it involved. That happened, but the general feeling. So when I said that, and I questioned the death of George Floyd, it hurt my people. It hurt the black people. So I want to apologize to hurting them because right now God has shown me by what Adidas is doing and by what the media is doing, I know how it feels to have a knee on my neck now. So
that is what we like to call a false equivalency. That is a false equivalency. That is a fucking terrible false equivalency. So that full thing is also in the drive. That's available. Oh, am I robot-y? Of course I'm robot-y. Why wouldn't I be robot-y? I'm always fucking shit up. I'll give it a second. It should fix itself. Oh. Let's try this again. Am I robot-y still? Am I mango bot? Am I doing all the terrible stuff? Being all robot-y and shit? I'm almost to the end of the timeline. Don't do this to me. I'm good now? Okay. Thank you, Tion. Alright, so. Hey, I'm clear-ish. What do you mean ish? Ish. Yes, beep boop. I'm a robot. I just wanted to get through this today. Yeah, my connection is kind of balls, isn't it? Of course it is. Because why wouldn't something go wrong? Anyway, so where were their parents? Which parents? Oh, talking to Lizard. Gotcha. Anyway, so October 30th, Kanye West returns to Instagram. And he posts this picture of Roxy Washington. And Roxy Washington is the mother of George Floyd's daughter. And he puts out this. Sorry. Now for Roxy Washington and Roxy Washington alone, I gave $2 million out of my pocket for the family to help George's daughter, your daughter. Guarantee that most of those came for me after my comments didn't do what I did, even those with millions of dollars in the bank. How much did BLM give? Many gave words. I acted. Now because of words, you want to sue me for $250 million when I'm going through an economic lynching, a digital lynching, a social credit score bankrupting. Either you're being controlled or you're being greedy. But you better get you some business. The family already said that they were not going to pursue the lawsuit. The family had already said that he had been doing good. He had not been talking about it. They were going to just let it be because the cease and desist had been working. He fucked up. He did this instead. They already said they weren't going to pursue, and he put this out. He fucked himself on this one. He royally fucked himself by doing that. Royally fucked. So, after that went out to George Floyd's child's mother, now, as you can see by the little dots down here, there's a first dot. I cannot, in good faith, show you the first picture that is with that dot. I cannot. The first picture that is on this roll is a very graphic image of Emmett Till's face. And Kanye used that image before an image of Ari Emanuel to once again talk about the economic digital lynching that he is going through and bankrupting of his his social credit score. questioning where Donda students are going to go, if Ari Emanuel can help find a place for them. Even though the school is still open, even though the school was still operating, even though it had already been put out there that, hey, we are going to continue the school with or without Kanye. He put this out. Just to dig at Ari Emanuel. Yeah. Oh, and accuses him of forcing Roxy to sue him for $250 million. Even though Ari Emanuel has absolutely nothing to do with that at all. So following his post to Ari Emanuel, where he says that, he decides to continue his spree of putting stuff out. And puts out this. And in his caption for this, he is very sarcastic about his anti-Semitism. He is very sarcastic, talking about Zuckerberg being his, quote, massa, end quote. He is going all out. He is not happy with anything going on. He is not following what is currently actually happening, and this is where we are. So, and what happens when he sends that out? Well, he once again is restricted by Instagram. His account is restricted yet again. So, we are now at October 31st. He is restricted once again on Instagram. And Morehouse College, who just agreed to put out the Donda Doves basketball game, puts out a statement. And their statement reads, the basketball tournament scheduled for November 6th in Forbes Arena featuring the Donda Dove and the Skill Factory has been canceled. We welcome the students and families to visit the campus and encourage them to learn more about how Morehouse singularly prepares men of color for lives of leadership and service by empowering young men who are trustworthy and hold themselves and each other accountable to act with compassion, honesty, and integrity as they build community with civility. Throughout its history, Morehouse College, perhaps more than any other institution, has stood for social discourse, which advances equity and healing, particularly in areas involving race, culture, and socioeconomic disparities. We therefore cannot condone, in perception or implication, the recent divisive and unproductive statements by Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. Now, something to know about Morehouse is that they are an HBCU. They are a historically Black college / university. So them doing that is a very powerful stance. It's terrible for the students, yes, but it also really did need to be said and done. So that leads us into November 1st, in which Kanye is dropped by yet another lawyer. He is dealing with a $7 million lawsuit from Phantom, and that was done at the end of last year, early this year. And the lawyer that was in charge of that case, Nina Boyajian, from the Greenberg law firm, testified in court that West, quote, publicly made improper anti-Semitic remarks, resulting in his condemnation by and disassociation from various entities and persons that previously worked with or represented him. And as a result, she has been unable to meaningfully communicate with West in order to represent him in this matter, and that West had made it, quote, unreasonably difficult to continue as their counsel, end quote. So that's just another lawyer in the list of lawyers that want nothing to do with him, that will not represent him because he's made it difficult to do anything. Now, on November 2nd, an article came out about what's happening at Donda Academy, and we learned from Malik Youssef that staff members of the Jewish faith were lost after Ye's anti-Semitic remarks. And then he made the claim that some resigned in what he was, quote, sure was public pressure from friends and family, end quote, while also calling what Kanye said ridiculous. No offense to Mr. Youssef, but I don't think it was public pressure from friends and family that caused staff members of the Jewish faith to not want to be associated with Donda Academy. I think that's just them not wanting to be associated with Donda Academy. Throwing that out there. Jackie Howard, a Doves player from the 2021-2022 season, was apparently removed from the school before all of this happened, with his father saying that the school was, quote, not aggressive on academics and our son's grades were slipping, so we got him out. They need to tighten up their curriculum, end quote. Chuck Bailey III's father, Chuck Bailey, the one that exited the Doves a few days earlier in the timeline, his father, Chuck Bailey II, refused to speak on his son's departure, saying that he would need to consult a lawyer before he said anything. Which, there was this whole rumor going around that parents signed non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, about their kids going to this school. And that, with the one parent statement on the academics not being rigorous, and then the parents of the basketball team not getting the email about the school's closure, just confirmed exactly what I thought, which is the players for the Donda Doves Academy are not actually registered as students for Donda Academy. They are not. And it's further confirmed from the NCAA information that I found from the 2021-2022 school year. Now, see, they said that their academic program for the basketball team was powered by K-12 Private Academy. Well, as you can see, there's Donda Doves listed as a team that was formally affiliated with the school for the NCAA high school program. It's not listed as Donda Academy. It's just listed as Donda Doves. The address that's affiliated with it is the address for the district, which is the gym that Coach Frank Robinson runs. They're registered as a homeschool team, essentially. Each student is individually registered with K-12 Private Academy as a homeschool student. When they say that they're students on scholarship for Donda Academy, it's not the actual Donda Academy students that are on scholarship. It's the Donda Doves basketball team who lives in fucking luxury apartments. They aren't registered with the school district. There's nothing going on with that. This is a homeschool team. Good job, Donda. Good job. So, knowing that, we can continue on. An article was published by CNBC revealing that at least 6 former staffers of Kanye's were paid hush money because of his love of Hitler. Yeah, I said those words. Writer Rips, a conceptual artist who worked with Ye on and off from 2014 to 2018, said he recalled multiple times when Ye spoke positively about Hitler and the Nazis or mentioned anti-Jewish conspiracies during meetings in the summer and fall of 2018. Rips, who is Jewish, said he pushed back on Ye's comments at the time, but thought they, quote, didn't seem that dangerous, end quote. After Ye's most recent wave of statements, though, Rip says he sees things differently. This is dangerous and disgusting and actually violent. No shit. In a settlement reviewed by NBC News, Ye paid a former employee who alleged witnessing more than one incident in which Ye praised Hitler or Nazis in business meetings. Ye denied the claims, but he paid out a settlement. He paid out the settlement, which is admitting guilt, which just goes along with what the TMZ staffer Van Lathan said about how he brought up Hitler and they cut it out because he agreed that Hitler was awesome in that TMZ segment. And we will never see that segment because they fucking got rid of it before it made it to air. So that happened as well. Also, huge shout out to Amber Rose, who in 2016, when she and Kanye broke up, demanded $10 million in hush money. I hope your life is going well. You deserve every penny of that, although I still want to know what the fuck was said and what the fuck happened to make you want that hush money. You did it good. You got the money before all the shit went down. Go you. God damn. And then, the final thing, the last thing that I have in the Kanye timeline is from November 3rd. Mind you, today is, it's officially the 6th because it's 1 a.m. But here we are. November 3rd in the timeline. Kanye. Now, I will say this. There's something really wrong with what was sent to Ye. I will say this. Okay? So, he tweets out, what should be obvious by now is that I was raised to stand for my truth regardless of the consequences. So I will say this again. I was mentally misdiagnosed and nearly drugged out of my mind to make me a manageable and well-behaved celebrity. Again, I do agree. Kanye West was misdiagnosed. He is not bipolar. He is something else. A lot of his actions, words, and episodes align with schizophrenia, but I am not a doctor. I will not say that that is his diagnosis. That is just what it appears to be. He would need to consult with someone. He would need to get properly diagnosed, get therapy, properly medicated, all of that stuff. That is absolutely important. If you feel as though your brain cannot manage what is going on, seek help. Absolutely 1000% seek help and take your fucking meds. But no, because he's showing a lot of the signs that a lot of people that are paranoid schizophrenics show. But yeah. Because he went through, if you notice in the timeline, he went through a giant spell of not doing anything, of being fine, of going and like working in New York and in Paris and working on his fashion stuff, and he was good, he was level, he wasn't attacking anyone. And here we are once again in a part of the cycle where he's attacking everyone and everything, and he is doing the most. And once he is done doing the most, he's going to go back into another phase of being fine. Look, that's another discussion that will have to be held at another time. Because it's definitely not borderline personality disorder. He is going through phases of a mental health disorder, and there are medications that can help make those mental health disorders easier to manage. That's the entire point of medication. I have mental health issues, and I have to take my meds every day, and I have to which is why I said that they need to talk to a therapist and they need to work with the entire system. It's not just oh, you have to take your meds. You need to work with people. That's what I said. And yes, he does think he's better than the meds. But again, he has to work with people. He can't keep working against himself. I work with people. I have to work with people. If I don't work with people, I mean, shit. Most of the time when I talk to Lizard, I'm just like, oh, fuck, I have to take my meds. Because we're talking around the time that I would need to take my fucking meds. It's helpful to have reminders. It is absolutely a major lifestyle change. So, continuing. So, Harley Pasternak. As I told y'all, Harley Pasternak ended his relationship with Kanye in the last stream I did about Kanye in the timeline. It was early October. He ended his relationship with Kanye. Harley Pasternak texted Kanye. And he said, I'm going to help you one of a couple of ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words, and everything that's discussed is based in fact and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Playdate with the kids just won't be the same. Harley fucking Pasternak, you do not make those types of threats to anyone. I do not care. I do not give a shit. That is not okay. That is not the type of thing that you say to someone, especially someone that is dealing with some sort of issue that is causing this sort of reaction. You do not do that. Kanye is always talking about how much he hated being drugged out, and you want to threaten to send him to zombie land forever? Sir, you need to take several fucking seats. We have seen what the result of a forced 5150 or a forced conservatorship can do to people. Look at Amanda Rabb. Look at everything that Bam Margera is going through. Look at what happened to Britney Spears. And you want to make that threat on someone that you cut ties with already? That is not okay. He needs to want the help. Kanye needs to sit down and say, I want the help. Harley Pasternak is his former personal trainer. He is a personal trainer to a lot of celebrities. He is also, just so happens to be, on the head of a pharmaceutical board. Just saying. Like, he's on one of those, and he has a Wii game, one of those Wii Fit things. But yeah. This is not okay. We absolutely can fucking not do these things. We cannot force people to get help when they do not want help unless they are an immediate fucking risk to other people. Right now, Kanye's biggest threat is himself. He is not threatening other people. He is not hurting other people. Yes, his words may hurt, but he is not taking direct actions to actually physically pain someone. This is not okay. I will be on Ye's side for this. This is not okay. Miss Rain Seattle, I do not agree. In that Kim Kardashian does not see him unless it is in public spaces. Neither do the children. She has them 80% of the time. He gets 20%. Like there are a lot of protections in place. Kim is perfectly fine. In fact, Kim Kardashian was seen talking to him at Saints football game just earlier today, and they had a very pleasant and cordial conversation. He is not a threat to Kim Kardashian right now. He is a threat to himself. Yeah. At this point, he has left Kim well enough alone. Like he is not doing anything towards her or against her right now. His main focus is the media as a whole, and well, yeah. But Harley Pasternak, it is not your place to make these types of threats. It never has been, and it never will be your place to make these types of threats on someone. If I ever catch any of y'all threatening some type of shit like this to someone, I'm gonna hurt you, because that's not cool. And I will fight you on it. So, that is where we're at. This is what it is at this point. Hopefully, no other major incidents come about. We do have Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's upcoming trial for their divorce. Because to our knowledge, Kanye did respond, but he did not provide all of the paperwork that they had asked for in regards to his finances and everything. But it didn't matter. The judge was going to move forward to trial with or without him. So that is where we're at on that front. Pretty much all of the major places that could drop him have dropped him. If any other big thing happens, I will be sure to let y'all know. But yeah, this is what it is. And thank you guys for being here for it. This was a lot. This took a lot out of me. This is a lot of research. Anything and everything that you have seen here is in the Google Drive that is linked down there. It has all of the business licensing information, all of the videos, every single one of the screenshots that I have shown you, as well as additional screenshots that I did not show you. Yeah. So I'll catch you guys some other time. Hopefully, I won't wait like a whole month to stream again. But who knows? All right. Y'all have a wonderful night. Even better tomorrow. And I will see y'all in outside chats.